How's it going, everyone? We thought Mother Nature was through with winter up here, but she decided to throw us a blizzard out of nowhere. We got winds of about 60 miles an hour. We've had snow all day long. Power just went out, and I'm assuming because of the weather, it's probably not going to be coming on anytime soon. So with that being said, I want to take this opportunity to show you my generator enclosure. I keep my generator, I apologize for the wind, I keep my generator outside year-round, and thus far it's done very well in this just free generator enclosure that I made with some scrap material. So I'm going to show that to you. I apologize for the noise. I'm going to turn the volume down in the video, but we're going up to the generator, which is running because I have to keep the chicks warm and keep them alive. I'm also going to show you that setup right now to show you how we're going to survive this winter storm, because right now it's 20 degrees with a wind chill of, I don't know, negative something. So it's going to get them really cold if we don't have some heat to them. That's the only reason why the generator's running. So we're going to show you that right now. All right, so this is the enclosure. You can see that it's just made out of some metal siding and some 2x4s, and it's held up all through the winter with no problem. Very little snow's gotten in the inside, and I'll show you that in a second. What I have to say is this generator does have a CO2 monitor. Just that way, if you're an idiot and you run this inside or in a big warehouse and you start fuming yourself out, the generator will shut off before you die, hopefully. But unfortunately, because of that, it doesn't ventilate too well inside of this. So I have to pull it out whenever I want to run the generator. So I'm going to take you a little closer and show you that. You can see that there's the exhaust. I'm actually going to move it a little more. So it's been gusting, again, it's been gusting up to 60 miles an hour all day long, snowing all day long, and that's all the snow that's gotten on the inside. So very little. I'm very happy with that. The generator is one of the DeWalt ones. Let's see, DeWalt DXGNR 8000. It works pretty well. Let's show you the chick warming setup, and we'll talk about that on the inside where I don't have to yell. So this is the setup to try and keep these guys warm. I have the heat lamp obviously on, but I also have a space heater running. I keep this space heater in the bathroom just because this bathroom gets freezing during the winter. So if I want to come in and take a shower, I just turn it on like 5 minutes before I come in. So I have it running at full blast right now, and my plan is we'll run the heater with the heat lamp on for an hour and see where that gets us. And if that's warm enough, we'll shut it off for a little while. Let the generator shut down so I'm not running it all night long, and that way I'm not burning gas all night long. And I think that this room is insulated enough that if I get this hot enough, it should stay warm for hopefully a couple hours. So we'll see. Hopefully the power's turned on soon, but with the weather, I don't think so. Alright, so it's been an hour since the power went out. We're going to check the ambient temperature with the heat gun. My goal is 70 degrees. I think we got a little ways to go, but I think 70 degrees will be more than warm enough to keep them warm for a couple hours. So let's see. Of course it's not going to focus, but looks like mid-60s basically. So I'm going to give it another half hour. It's about 10 o'clock. I don't want to run my generator all night, so I think another half hour will be sufficient, and then let these guys cool off, so to speak, for a little while. Alright, so it's about midnight, so just around 3 hours since the power went out. We're going to check the ambient temperature, and we are in the 70s, ladies and gentlemen. So we're right where we need to be. It has been windy and not just gusting, but sustained winds of at least 60 miles an hour. It's been shaking the house, and I mean literally shaking the house. So I think that being as it's 70 degrees in here right now, inside the main house it's 60 degrees because the heater's been on. I think we're probably going to be warm enough for at least 2.5, 3 hours. So I'm going to set an alarm for 3 a.m. and see if the power is on. If the power is on, we'll plug everything back in. If the power isn't on, we'll kick the generator back on for a little while and keep it running. So we'll check back in then, and yeah, I'm gonna get to bed. I just gotta say that if you want to live in Idaho, you better fucking be tough. Alright, so it's the following morning. The winds have calmed down a bit, the snow's calmed down a little bit. We're still getting gusts in the high 40s, low 50s, somewhere around there. I decided to run the generator all night just because I looked it up, and at 50% of power output, the generator could run for 9 hours, I believe it said, so I wasn't too concerned about it running at 30% power. We're just going to the shop right now to get another 5-gallon can. I like to make sure that the generator doesn't run out of fuel, so we're gonna just top it off, keep it running. No sign on when the power's coming back on, but like I said, I doubt it's coming on anytime soon. We may be in the middle of a blizzard, but that doesn't mean I get away from walking this guy. Freaking ball of energy. Come on, bub. Oh, good boy. I came down to the shop to draw out exactly why we're getting such harsh weather patterns out of nowhere. So here's Canada. Canada. And then here is Washington. Alright? Put W for Washington. Now what happens is Washington has a little corridor of mountains on its coast. And what'll happen is when it gets a little windy, it'll blow that moisture through the corridor. All of this in Washington is basically plains, so flat land. Wind just carries, continues over into Idaho. Now Idaho, the panhandle comes down like this, and then eventually, I think I drew the angled part a little too late, but you get the picture. Here's the panhandle. What happens is there's another corridor of mountains inside the panhandle that pushes all the cold winds from Canada straight down through it. So you got mountains here, mountains here, mountains here, mountains here, moisture coming in this direction, cold air coming down from Canada, and what happens is you get a nice mixture of a whole bunch of cold, wet air, which makes some nice little snow. So that's what's happening. That's why we have such harsh weather out of nowhere. And that's why 70+ power outages have been reported in my area. I'm going to show you a quick string of photos just to demonstrate what exactly I'm talking about. This comes from my power company, Avista, and this is a map of the power outage that's happening right now. The bladder on our well has officially dried up, so it is to using bottled water. No big deal. Got more than enough on hand, not just for drinking, but also for dog food. So I was curious as to how much the drifting snow would affect the chicken coop, but it looks like, being as it's at the base of this hill, it's being protected for the most part. So it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna get back inside because I'm freezing my ass off. Wind chill right now is down to like -10 or something like that, but very happy to see that the chicken coop placement is working, while Sven has a difficult time peeing on that bush. I also made sure to top off the bird feeder because we gotta be kind to all of our friends in these trying times. I think it's time we do an official week 3 update on these guys. Not a whole lot has gone on. We updated their feeder to a hanging feeder, the same type that's going to be inside their coop. That way they can't kick the food out because they prefer to eat the food off the ground and dig for it. You can see that these guys are definitely getting their wings, so to speak. So that's why I have the towel over there, as well as the tinfoil here. That way they can't fly out. But I also have a dirt box that I mentioned in a previous video, and yeah, thus far they're doing really well in this new brooder. They're starting to show signs of molting a little bit, but it's still going to be a little while before they have their real feathers and before they're outside. But just wanted to give a brief update. Temperature is about 21 degrees. You can see that the storm has cleared up a little bit. The wind has calmed down slightly. Just check the power company's website, the little update map, and according to them, the expected time that our power is going to be on is 8 p.m. tomorrow. So If that's the case, we're going to be out for quite a while longer. Hopefully it gets on sooner than that, but according to the map at least, and it was updated only like 30 minutes ago, we're going to be down for another day. But that's all right. I have more than enough gas on hand, so we should be okay. Someone doesn't mind if it's a little cold out, do ya? Do ya? Love you, Papa. And I want to mention my go-to power outage dinner, and that would be Velveeta mac and cheese. And I know that's a little divisive. A lot of people like Kraft, some people like Velveeta. But the main reason I like Velveeta, especially for a power outage, is I'm able to throw all the shells into a pot, let them boil, strain them, and then just add the cheese inside of my bowl. I don't have to do any extra cleaning afterwards. So when I can't run my dishwasher and I can't get any water out of my well, I don't have to waste any water cleaning my dishes, which is a plus. So it's the following morning, and the power came on at about 2:30 or so, which gives us somewhere around 28, 29 hours without power. But no issues, the pipes didn't freeze, I didn't have any trouble eating or keeping myself hydrated, I had more than enough water, had more than enough gas for the generator. It was just a pretty easy couple of hours. But I want to thank all the linemen who worked in the storm and worked through the middle of the night to get this power back up and running. And I also want to thank anyone who made it this far in the video. If you did, consider subscribing, like the video, and hit the little bell icon to be notified every time I upload. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below in the comments. And with that, thank you for watching, think for yourself, shoot straight, and I will see you next time.